Another run game massacre. Jalen Hurts breaking records that have, well, it's been a long time since, we mentioned the name Randall Cunningham for the Eagles. And this team is getting closer to the record prediction that I made at the beginning of this season. Yo, Bird brothers and sisters, what is going on? Lindy Endzone back in the building for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Eagles, one video at a time, and dropping buckets for my Dallas Mavericks. And yeah, I've abused them quite a bit with with really no content on the channel, and you know I do apologize for I guess like the lack of content uploading and interaction and what have you. And it seems that I've gotten quite a bit busier in my household here with a lot of different things that I got going on. But with that out of the way, if you like the diversity of fandom that I bring to the table, love to have you a part of the End Zone fam. And the easiest you can do that contribution is hit the subscribe button if you feel interested. Hitting the like, helps out with the algorithm of YouTube to get my content out there to other Bird brothers and sisters, MFFLs, and maybe down the road I may pick up some Brave stuff, but who knows? Who knows? I love to talk about them, but you already know the deal by now. But let's get into this Victory Monday quick. The Eagles dispatched the New Orleans Saints for the second time in a row at home, and this win was a little more convincing than the last one, obviously due to different circumstances. But the Saints got slaughtered, 40-29. Um, don't let the score fool you. This game wasn't nearly as close as the final score suggests. The Eagles took their foot off the gas way too soon, in my opinion. But not all was lost because they still were able to go to the link back home and get a win out of their, I think, last 5 attempts to get a win at home, Lincoln Financial Field. One of the hardest places to play, especially if you're a team coming to visit Philadelphia, and it hasn't been that way as of lately. Teams coming in, not there's really no opposition in terms of like intimidation of our team in general, and the fans, and that home field advantage wasn't there for quite some time. And with this win, it comes back. You hear Jalen Hurts talking about a takeover at the end of the victory speech that Nick Sirianni gave when Hurts huddled up the entire team. He feels a takeover is happening, and rightfully so. This this Eagles offense is looking a lot better, and this is one thing I remembered talking about. When JC Eagles Talk and I broke down the Broncos game on one of my episodes of Touchdown Talk. I just brought up the fact that this Eagles team, one of their biggest identities is running the football. And when you have the kind of offensive line that we do, like the athleticism that they possess, how they're able to pick up blockers at the second and third level, and really continue to push that lane down the field to give the running back a nice, just to give him a nice open highway toward the end zone. It was phenomenal. Jason Kelsey, my opinion, best center in football. continues to show it on a weekly basis. Jack Driscoll is getting better at that guard spot. Lane Johnson is looking Pro Bowl-esque again. Jordan Mailata, dare I say, is looking Pro Bowl-esque. Landon Dickerson is such an awesome story for when we picked him up in the draft and all those injury concerns with his knees and how is he going to hold up? Are we going to see him this year? And how long are they going to sit him? Him and Mailata are holding down the left side pretty darn well, I would have to say. And it was it was so easily apparent with how we were able to dominate the first half. The Saints had no answer defensively for our run game. And in 94, in the last 94 games for the New Orleans Saints, they've only allowed a team to rush over 200 yards twice. The Eagles were that team twice. Just like I go to last year, who dat, blue dat. And well, while you can say that they did not have Alvin Kamara, Trevor Siemian was their quarterback. They were missing two offensive tackles, starting offensive tackles, either two or three. I don't want to hear any of that because at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is not facing Trevor Siemian per se. He's facing the Saints defense, who going into that game was the number one rush defense in all of football. Wonder if that rings a bell to another time. Last year in Jalen Hurts' first career NFL start. I don't know. The Eagles were able to run on that number one defense yet again. And, whether it's Armstead or Cameron Jordan, Quan Alexander in the linebacking core, Marcus Williams, Marshawn Lattimore, all those big defensive names the Saints possess. And again, they could not stop the run. And it was only when the Eagles decided to let their foot off the gas in the second half that the Saints, slowly crawled their way back into this game. And, sadly, this victory did not come without sacrifice. We had two knee sprain injuries. Unfortunately, Jordan Howard was one of those, as well as Davion Taylor. And it looks like Davion Taylor just cannot catch a break with getting hurt. And it's really preventing him from continuing to develop as a linebacker, in the NFL, getting those chances week after week. And these injuries just keep him off the field. And now he may go to short-term IR. And, it's not looking good for Jordan Howard either. While there was no talks of him hitting IR with his knee injury, it is more than likely that we are not going to have him next game against the Giants. But as we may well know, Boston Scott is the Giant killer, and next man up mentality comes up again. And speaking of next man up, and speaking of running backs, Miles Sanders, really. Now I understand Miles had almost 100 rushing yards, and I understand that he did have his explosive plays that we are all accustomed to him, that we're all accustomed to Miles being capable of doing. But I just don't understand between Deuce Staley, Jeff Stoutland, who is the run game coordinator, and his influence isn't as big as running backs coaches and what have you, even though he is in charge of how the run game is orchestrated. But Deuce Staley and now Jamal Singleton, who seems to be pretty competent as a running backs coach, and what he's doing to help bring along Kenny Gainwell, and how we're able to utilize Jordan Howard again, and Boston Scott is getting his opportunities in there. Despite that good collection of coaching, I don't know what it is with Miles. Like, dude, why can't you hold on to the football? I don't get it. Like, when we see games like this, it's so frustrating because, at the end of the day, he's continuing to hurt his chances at an extension. And I'm sorry if it's an unpopular opinion, but it's going, if he continues to do this, he's not going to get a contract extension. And, you know, maybe unpopular opinion too, but to me, Jordan Howard looks like the better offensive fit than Miles does. And, you know, I called this at the beginning of the season. I said, you're not going to see Miles play a full season. You're just not going to. To this point, he's already had a number of ankle injuries, whether it's ankle, um, I forget the other injury that he sustained. I know it's not a hamstring and I know it's not a knee, but I do know that his ankle has been bothering him the most. And I said at the beginning of the year, I still felt that Miles was capable of having at least 1,800 yards and what have you. And, while Sirianni was kind of in a, crappy spot with trying to figure out this offense and a lot of his stupid play calling. And, to this point, that's not the here nor there. To see Miles come back and to bring this negativity from the dead is just ridiculous to me. And, it really gets on my nerves because, I know I speak for a lot of Eagles fans when I say that Miles is pretty damn talented as a running back. And me personally, I put him in the same conversation as Saquon Barkley, but they both have a similar problem. Neither of them can stay healthy for when their team needs them the most. And Miles has even further detriment with ball security issues. So I mean he's losing his chances here. And I would not be surprised if the Eagles get into a situation where they may need to draft another running back if we don't see Jordan Howard come back, and if Miles just doesn't work out because he can't stay healthy and this ball security issue just continues to, just allow him to regress as a running back, because that's one of the most important things as a ball carrier is holding on to it. He almost had two fumbles in this game. So, you know, I mean, I would not be surprised. And yeah, am I overreacting right now? A lot of people could very well say so. But this has been a problem since his rookie year, and he's in year 3 now. It's getting a little bit out of hand. And we're not big on having a franchise running back. And while LaShawn McCoy, Shady was the last one of that category, Miles has the makeup to be him, to be that franchise guy. But it just hurts to see this continue to happen for his sake. Kenny Gainwell to this point is looking pretty promising so far as a 5th-round selection. Yeah, does he need to work on his pass protection? Absolutely. Miles has a similar issue. So I mean, while you have a younger player in the background that you've already have given experience to, if Kenny Gainwell continues to develop, I don't know. I'm just saying, but I guess that's a story or topic for another day. Because we gotta try and stay positive here on this Victory Monday. With the Eagles, I think half a game out on that wild card spot while we hold a tiebreaker. I think with the Saints, Falcons, and Panthers, stuff's like it's looking pretty promising here. How well they're playing, and TJ Edwards getting a 1-year extension, well deserved. I'm happy for him. He was one of my guys that I wanted, that I wanted the Eagles to keep between him and Alex Singleton. I thought those two were the best linebackers available that we had. We were hoping Eric Wilson was going to be one of those guys, and well, we already know what happened to him. Uh, what else here? Oh, got to bring up Dallas Goedert's extension. Um, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. And it irks me to hear that, you know, we paid him too early. He's not worth top three money, and we're paying him on potential over what he's done. And let's pump the brakes for a second. We've seen how we do this before. How he gets ahead of the market. He pays his guys as early as possible when they earn it. And I think it's fair to say, in this current construction of the tight end room, Goedert has earned it. So now, Howie acknowledges that, when you got to get your guys paid, you got to get your guys paid. I think the contract is fair. Howie's trying to beat the market here. So I mean, who's to say he ends up waiting in the final year of Goddard's contract, and the price just goes higher and higher. I mean, I don't know how much longer Travis Kelce is going to play at the top of his game. Then then George Kittle is going, and then you never know that George Kittle might hit that top spot. Mark Andrews is still playing as good as he is. And then, you got Darren Waller and Noah Fant, and you got other tight ends in the background. Goddard had to get paid. And, as far as competitive contracts, who's to say what would it have taken to keep Zach Ertz if he wasn't traded? What kind of money would he have gotten? So I mean, let's pump the brakes here on that. I'm not worried at all about Goddard getting this money right now. I'm not. I'm not worried about it. Anything else that I want to bring up? I don't know. I mean, there wasn't. I mean, I covered pretty much everything on offense. The defense was phenomenal in the first half. Let's not forget about that. Big play Slay yet again. Was it three touchdowns in the last 4 games for him? The last time he did that was 2018, which was a Pro Bowl year for him, which I think he went to the Pro Bowl 2 or 3 straight times, and I think that was his third straight for him. I mean, he's good to see that he's mirroring Pro Bowl numbers there. Love it, gotta love it. Avonte Maddox had a good game. Anthony Harris had a nice bounce back game. The defensive line was looking pretty disruptive. Really gave Trevor Siemian fits. I love the different blitzes that Jonathan Gannon dialed up. He really made Trevor uncomfortable in that pocket. At one point, Trevor was 7 of 23, just absolutely pathetic. But we're just going to have to continue to kill the narrative that people want to throw out there, and like, oh, you guys beat a Saints team that wasn't healthy, and they didn't have Jameis Winston, and okay, well, that's not our fault. Well, they didn't play Taysom Hill. That's not our fault. They didn't have Alvin Kamara. That's not our fault. Like I said, at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts had a responsibility, and that was to, between him and Nick Sirianni, they again had another pivotal matchup here against the number one rush defense. And, for us to have over 50 rush attempts with the quarterback included, that's oh, we've been asking for that for such a long time. That's what this Eagles team is built for, is running the football. And what else is important about that? Your quarterback, your developing quarterback, also needs a run game to allow him to continue to get comfortable and get in the zone and start to pick a defense apart, that they have to respect your run, and you're not setting a tone of being one dimensional. It was fantastic. It really was. It was a phenomenal game. But like I said, it didn't come. The game did not come without sacrifices, and we had the injuries to Jordan Howard and Davion Taylor. I also believe I think Slay had a concussion that game. We didn't see him I don't want to say the entire second half, but I don't remember seeing him on the field in the fourth quarter. So with no Jordan Howard, with no Slay, that's probably also two reasons why both the offense and the defense got conservative. But all in all, it was a victory Monday. That's the most important. And now we got to take care of business, y'all, because we now have statistically the easiest strength of schedule left in the NFL. How are we going to handle that? That's going to be the big question moving forward. And I think that's going to do it. So I don't carry this video on much longer. I'm already over 20 minutes, but I wanted to get a kind of a big collection of thoughts out and see what you guys also think down in the comments. And again, I do apologize for the lack of content that I've been putting out, as I explained in the beginning of the video here. I really do feel bad about it, and I hope that I just hope that things settle down a little bit more, so I can do this consistently. By the way, puppies are a handful, and that's what the pen's for back there. So that's part of the busyness as to what happens now in the end zone household. But I'm gonna get out of here, everybody. Thank you if you make it to the end of the video. I'm truly grateful for it. And yeah, I'll get out of here. Y'all have a good night. Fly Eagles fly, bleed green. MFFLs go Mavs. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and see you soon.